Esau. People, they're blown away when they see Esau. Everybody wander after Esau. They think this is God, this is the greatest people. That's what we used to think. That's what I used to think too. These are greatest people. Right? Right? Salakia, man. You know, Esau, when they notice that you start bringing out word and you mentioning Esau, or you mentioning, right, you're exposing them, guess what? Then they start attacking your internet. They did that to me a couple of days ago. That's how Esau operates. When you start bringing out the truth, Esau doesn't like it. Esau get mad. Right? Esau, he always get mad when you're exposing him. Esau doesn't want to be exposed. You see what I'm saying? Esau doesn't want to be exposed. You know, they want to continue to do the same weakness that they do. They don't want to be exposed. It's just the spirit of Esau. You know, bear with me. That's just Esau's spirit. Right? That's just Esau, man. That's just Esau. Right? Let's continue to say, everybody wander after the beast. Right? Bear with me. Oh. Right? Everybody, right? Everybody wander after the beast. Why? Why is everybody wander after the beast? Because we've been deceived. Especially the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native. Because, listen, we lack wisdom. The Most High told us to keep the law of the commandment. We won't do it. We rebel against the living God, Yahweh, the power. We rebel against the Most High 24/7. So therefore, the Most High, you know, he gave all the power to Esau. So Esau, Edom, he's ruling over us. Right? Let's continue. He said, and all the world wandered after the beast. It doesn't matter. Everybody wandered after Esau. It doesn't matter the country. You go, you travel and you go take a look at your own self. And I saw one of his head as if, let me see, verse 4. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So they're worshiping who? Satan. Satan that gave power to Esau. And they worship the beast, saying, you see, they worship who? Esau. They worship Esau, Edom, Idumea, Bosra. Okay? Saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is like unto Esau, man? Who is like unto Esau? Don't you see? The town, you know, when you go to New York, you know, when you go to Chicago, you know, you go to Paris, you go to, you know, Zurich, when you go to Munich, when you go to, listen, man, Berlin, and the list goes on. Look at Esau, man. When you go to Canada, Ontario, Toronto, you know, Quebec, and things like that, man. Montreal, and the list goes on and on and on. Look at what Esau doing, man. Go to our land, man. Go to Jerusalem. Go to Jerusalem, and what do you see down there? What do you see in Jerusalem? Esau and his children, the Amalekite, right? So that's what's going on. He said, this is what everybody said when they see Esau, it's the greatest people. Why are you talking against Esau? This is my slave master, these greatest people. Don't you see they got pale skin? They're looking handsome, they're beautiful, things like that. Watch it. He said, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Who can make war with Esau? Nobody, man. I have not seen yet. Esau have been waging war against all the nations until this very last day. Esau waged war first and foremost against who? Judah. And then they continue to wage war against the Egyptians. They wage war against all the other nations. Lately, who did Esau wage war against? They wage war against Gaddafi in Libya. They wage war against who? Maduro in Venezuela. They're waging war against Syria, Bashar al-Assad. They're waging war against who? North Korea. They're waging war against the Vietnamese, the Japanese, and the list goes on and on and on. It's Edom, and that's what they do. We can't wage war against them. We don't even have the tool, man. We can't do it. The so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, first of all, we are not unified. We are not united. So how can we wage war against Esau? We can't do it. Our power, the living God Yahweh, will take up the war for us, man. We ain't got to bear no arm, no weapon, none of those things. We ain't need that, man. The Most High is a man of war. Right? Yahweh is the man of war. Exodus 15:3, man. Yahweh is a man of war. Okay? Let's continue. He say, and there was given unto him a mouth. You see? That's why when you go, I'm going to prove it. I'll go in the book of Daniel chapter 7 and prove it. Watch this. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So now when you read it, you think it's literally talking about 42 months? No, man. It's deeper than that, man. The time is in the hand of the Most High, right? Let's go right here in the book of Daniel, right? Let's go to Daniel quick, right? Let's go right here. Maybe I can read it from like the KJV online right here. I'm going to read it from there. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7, right? I'm going to read it from here, actually. That make it quite easy. So this is the book of Daniel chapter 7. And we start from verse 25, right? 7 and 25, right? This is the book of Daniel. So for some of you, if you don't know, who is he referring to? It's the Roman Empire, the Edomite Empire. They're ruling the whole world, man, from the north to the south, east, west. They're ruling everything, right? Let's read from verses 23 so we can have understanding, right? This is the book of Daniel chapter 7, because we got to read precept upon precept, line upon line, here to live, there to live, man. That's how you get understanding. That's how the Holy Spirit leads you, right? It's a beautiful thing, man. It said, this is the Daniel chapter 7 and verse 22. Until the ancient of days came, a judgment was given to the saints. The ancient of the days, the Most High, the living God Yahweh. Okay? A judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possess the kingdom. So we will possess the kingdom. Today we don't possess it. Why? Because of our sin. But once the Most High, He cleans us and forgive us, we will take back the kingdom. Lord willing. Lord willing. I can already sit here and say that. Guarantee. No, I can't do that. I got to humble myself till the last day. I'm still striving. I'm still working for the kingdom. Am I saved yet? No, I'm not saved yet. I'm not saved yet. I still got a long way to go. That's what a lot of brothers don't do. We still got a long way to go. Are we saved yet? No, man, we ain't saved yet. Because we have to endure until the end. He that shall endure until the end, right? The same shall be saved. So let's keep that in mind. We got to endure until the end. Right? We got to endure to the end. Right? He say, verse 23, thus he said, the fourth beast, okay, shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. You see that? Shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. Okay? It might be blurry. Okay? The fourth kingdom upon the earth. Who? Esau, Edom. The Edomite. The Caucasus Mountain. The Caucasian, right? Okay? That's how they name their own self, aka the so-called white people, right? Because they are not really white, okay? Let's keep that in mind. He said, thus he said, who? The Most High, the living God. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms. You see that? If you get a chance, you go to Google and type into Google Roman Empire. Okay, type into Google Roman Empire and click on the map and take a look at how big was the Roman Empire, man. The Roman Empire covered almost the whole earth. From North Africa to the Middle East to Europe to Asia, except for what? America. However, 1492, they took over America too. Esau, man, I'm telling you, watch this. He said, we shall be diverse. That's why when you take a look at Esau, the way they operate, the way they do the thing that they do, don't you see it's diverse? It's different, man. The Babylonians, they are ruled, but they didn't rule like Esau. Right? The Egyptians, they are ruled, but they didn't rule like Esau. The Greeks, they ruled, but they didn't rule like Esau. You see what I'm saying? Look at what they got. G7, G3, G20, blah, blah, blah. They got the IMF, right? They got I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They got the nuclear bomb, right? They got all type of missile. They got all type of weaponry. Take a look at Esau, man. This ancient kingdom, they didn't have access to this such sophisticated weapon. Look at Esau. What did they do? They say the eagle has landed. The Bible of the Great say the eagle have landed. We told who? Neil Armstrong. Lord, hey, only the Most High, only the Lord know really where they are, where they went. Right? But they went into the moon, supposedly, right? We know that they didn't go inside the moon because they'll die, man. The heat that come, the light that come up from the moon, come on, man. They can't go over there, man. We know it's a lie, man. It's on stage, man. You see what I'm saying? So NASA, right? NASA, right? Which is what? Deception, weakness. Right? So when we take a look at Esau, the things of Esau, man. That's why the scripture say, how are the things of Esau sorted out, man? How? How are the things of Esau sorted out? Esau is totally different. The Edomite Empire is different from what? The Egyptian, the Babylonian, the Greek, the Mid-Persian, the Assyrian, and the list goes on and on and on. It's fully diverse, different. Look at the military. They got what? Allied. They're talking about NATO. You know, NATO. They got this. Man, so many, listen, they got so many wicked devices. Right? They got so many wicked devices. Right? Bear with me. Right? It's telling me, you know, Facebook is telling me that my internet is not good. Right? Right? Facebook is telling me that my internet is not good. Though I got a good internet right here. They're trying to shut me down now, right? Okay. So when you take a look at Esau, oh, the thing of Esau totally diverse. It's mighty. Take a look at them. Social service. Well, what do? They oppress the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian men, and they'll snatch and take their baby. They use word Semitic and they take the black baby, Latino baby. Even though there is no case of abuse, they use word, blah, 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 and they take black baby, Latino, and split family. They got the police. They got a gun. And they can do anything they want to do. Ain't no problem. Because they fear for their life. That's what they say. They're scared for their life. They got all type of disease. I mean, all type of weakness. All type of drugs. They got every, look at Esau, man. The other kingdom, they operate wickedly, but not like this, man. Esau is the top, man. That's what the Most High say. And they should call them war. Let me just bring it out, man. I'm not just gonna go. Let's go to Malachi, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Through Yahawashi, Mashiach, man, and the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kadash. Right? Let's go to Malachi chapter 1, man. Because the Most High, he told us all things, man. Let's read it. Right? This is the book of Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom said, Edom, like Elon Musk, and all this Edomite, all the Edomite, it doesn't matter where they live. Before this, man, they're working to bring, he's buying what, 1.3 billion of what? Cryptocurrency from who? Bitcoin. So that they can start forcing people to buy using the cryptocurrency, using Bitcoin. And that will force the people to start doing everything digitally, right? And that's where we're heading to. Don't you see the bank, they're closing the branches here, they close these branches over there, telling everybody you do online. Online banking, online banking, online banking. That's what you're hearing right now. Who's coming with all these devices? Esau Edom is the mark of the beast. Online banking, it will bring you to the mark of the beast. Cryptocurrency, it will lead you to the mark of the beast. All this new technology, new pills, new drugs, new this they're bringing out, it will lead you to the mark of the beast. Hey, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Stay focused, Israel. Ye so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, stay focused. This is not the time to slumber. This is not the time to sleep. This is not the time to sleep and play game. You can't mock the Most High and run away. He will snatch you. He'll get you back, buddy. So let's read it. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we're impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate place. And that's what they did. And that's what they're doing right now. All the empty, all the desolate, all the empty, they're taking away everything. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. So who's going to throw down? The Most High. We don't have to do. The Most High with his angel, Yahawashi, the elect, all, hey, the Most High got it. The living God, Yahweh, power about the Father, he'll take care of that, man. You see that? He said, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they should call them the border of weakness. That's why everything they do is diverse, it's different. Look at Esau, Edom. They start pushing for equality. They start pushing for war. Feminist movement, right? Thanks, bro. Thanks, King. You see what I'm saying? They start pushing for the feminist movement. You know, they start pushing for all the weakness, all type of things. Then when they conquer the Israelites in West Africa and brought them here as a slave, right? And on top of that, they didn't treat our forefathers righteously. They were oppressing them. They won't feed them properly, whipping them, beating them, you know, like killing them. And they continue to kill us until this very last day. So what do they use now? They use the food, the GMO. They use the water fleet, machine gun, all this. They use all type of it. They use the TV. They use the news. They use Black Lives Matter. All type of things, man. All type of things. He said, well, if they should call them the border of weakness. They're wicked, point blank, period. All the things they do, man. Okay, they're going labs and they design, you know, disease. They're made up things and they bring it out in the field and test it on people and test it on things. And they start lying, talking about this and that, all these things, man. Right? They're coming up with law that we got to pay taxes. We got to pay this. We got to do this. Oh, you need ticket. Oh, you need this. You need health insurance. You need life insurance. Where in the other Asian kingdom did they do that, man? The other kingdom, they were wicked indeed, but not like this, man. The word of the Most High are heavy, man, serious. The Most High say, well, they shall be diverse from all the kingdoms. Diverse. Oh yeah, you need life insurance. Oh yeah, you need, you know what? You need to put this this chemical into your baby. Oh, you need to do this. No, man. You can't use natural remedies anymore. Any natural plant you come out with it as a medicine, they say, no, man, we don't trust it. They say they don't trust it. But all the witchcraft that they do in the labs, the pharmaceutical, and this big company, hey, is the best, man. Those are the top ones. That's what they say. Those are the good. He said, the border of, he said, and they shall call them the border of weakness. That means when you know what is the border? The border is to limit, right? Is that when I take my notebook, right? So my notebook right here, you can see, this is the border, right? So once you step outside of this, you are not in the book anymore or in the notebook. You are not in it anymore. So this is the border. So they are the border of weakness. So weakness is right here. Weakness is inside. So once you pass it, there's no more weakness. Then that's what the Most High is saying. The Most High say, Esau, Edom, they are the border of weakness. And that's what you see throughout the whole world, man. Whatsoever they set foot is all bloodshed. Whatsoever they set foot is all people dying. People dying in high number. Anywhere they set foot. And the people, they'll lose their culture. They lose their heritage. They lose their food. They lose everything. And they're replacing the people culture by their own weakness, by their wicked devices. And that's what we see, man. That dragon gave his power to Esau. So Esau is running the earth heavily as never before. The Egyptians were not able to rule like that. The Assyrian, the Mid-Persian, the Babylonian, the Greeks, and the list goes on and on. The Canaanite, no, man. He said, the body of weakness and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. That's the Most High. You see? So the Most High have indignation against them forever. This is some serious right here. Let's go back in the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. Let's go over there, man. Let's go back. This is the book of Daniel chapter 7, right? And verses 23. He say, thus he said, the fourth beast, which is Esau, Edom. Okay, that's why we got to read, when we read the book of Revelation chapter 13, we got to understand. He said, That number, the 6 is the number of a man. His number is 66666 square. You know, who is he referring to? It's Esau. It's Esau, Edom, Idumea, Bosra, Uz, and the list. Listen, daughter of Babylon, and the list goes on and on and on. He said, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be for the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour. And that's what they do. They devour. What did they do to the northern kingdom? The so-called Latino and Native, what did they do to them? They devoured them. Esau devoured them. He finished them. Okay? What did Esau did to southern kingdom in West Africa, in Jerusalem in 70 AD? He finished southern kingdom. Yeah, that's Esau. He said, and shall devour the whole earth. Come on, man. The Most High is serious right here. And shall devour what? The whole earth. That's where they run everywhere. It doesn't matter. Middle East, Asia, Antarctica, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Black Sea, Dead Sea, you know, Africa, Europe. Listen, they run everything. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all the island, the Caribbean. Come on, man. And you're gonna tell me this is not literally the fourth beast? It said, and shall devour the whole earth. And that's what's happened. They just got up and drop bomb on people. They just got up and say, we signed executive order. The new Pharaoh in the White House just told the Iranian yesterday that he ain't gonna take off the sanction from them until they stop the nuclear enrichment. The new Pharaoh, there's nothing new under the sun. And that's the main reason why we tell you, we don't support them. We don't support them. We don't care who's in the office. We don't care. It doesn't bother. We don't care. We don't support them. Because they're the one that the Most has been using to oppress us. They are our enemy. That's what the Most High said. That's what the Bible says. Right? Let's continue to say, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Why is the Most High say that break the earth in pieces? Look on the earth. Look at the ozone. Who polluted the ozone? All these chemtrails you see every day into the sky. Chemtrails throughout the whole land. Who is doing all those things? Who is behind it? Who is doing all those things? Esau, Edom. Right? Look at GMO food everywhere. You can't get anything natural. Look at all this chicken, man. They raise chicken within a week, a month, and they look like monsters. So huge. And the meat is tasteless. The meat is tasteless. It doesn't matter how much you season it. It's tasteless. Right? It's tasteless. Everything's GMO. The water poison. You can't have natural water anymore. Natural well that was dug by our people.